What it do, man? This is your boy, man, North End Floyd from the Kickback Podcast Show. And I got you solo for some reason. Let me exit out the solo. What it do, y'all? Hey, this your boy North End Floyd from the Kickback Podcast Show, man. I'm sorry for the late start. I had some technical difficulties and stuff like that. So, but I was able to make it happen. And these two ladies was, what I'm saying, luckily they blessed me to come on the show, which is episode 92, which we were talking about social media. How does it affect society? Is it helping? Is it harming society? And we see a lot of things going on. We see a lot of people make posts and see a lot of things going on social media. So, I want to talk about, the issues people been having. Has it been helping society really? And so I have Miss T Rose and I have Miss Kimberly Russell taking time out her busy schedule. Both of y'all taking time out y'all busy schedule to join the podcast. So how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I had some technical difficulties at the last second, and I was low key stressing out. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was like, oh my god, why did I do this? Why did I do that? And I don't know, So, but I got through it, and I'm really happy that y'all was still able to stick with me and say, you know what, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. So, what I'm saying. But like I said, uh, Miss Kimberly Russell, why don't you tell? Did I say it right? Last name?
It's Roosley.
Bruce. Whoa.
It's okay though. I'm from Louisiana,
Oh,
so everyone messes it up every now and again. But I just think of kangaroo, Roosley.
Bruce. Oh, okay, okay. Shreveport, is it?
So Shreveport, I always tell people Shreveport. I'm actually born and raised in the sister city of Shreveport, which is Bossier City.
Bossier City. Okay. All right. Oh, that's like what, east of it, I think.
So yes, it's east of Shreveport. Yes.
Okay. So how is it growing up out there?
Well, it's like a metro area. For anyone who's never been to Shreveport, Bossier, it's a metro area of about 250, 300,000 people, and it's separated by a river. It's separated by the Red River. Shreveport is the larger metro city, of course, and then Bossier is the smaller, which is where I'm from. So our population is about 100, but all in all, I will say in the area growing up, it's pretty common. It's almost like a big city type area, but it still has a small city feel. And everyone, of course, since it's still the South, everyone is personable. People get along. You end up traveling back and forth between both cities every now and again. So growing up there is perfectly fine.
So you go back there often?
Oh yeah, I try to. I want to say maybe once every 3 months, so like once a quarter.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Miss T Rose, how you doing tonight? What's going on? I know you had like a late session, so you was able to join us and stuff.
Yeah, I finished at about 7:30. So it was right on time. Just rolling right into it. I'm doing fine. I mean, this is just like another session.
So, why don't you tell the people what do you do, like as far as like your work and how they can get in touch with you and all that?
Okay, so my name is Trina Frazier, also known as Trina Rose. And I own and operate the Rose Center, which is a counseling center where I offer cognitive behavior therapy, trauma therapy, and more. I also recently created my second business venture, which is a psych merch company called Pop Psych. So you guys will be seeing that soon if you follow the business page, the Rose Center PLLC on Facebook and Instagram. You can find it at the Rose Center BMT. You'll see that I've already been kind of giving hints about it. So I'm excited about that new venture. Definitely trying to make mental health popular. And you have already been spearheading that in our community, Floyd. So definitely appreciate that, you and among others. But like I said, you've been spearheading it, and me and you have had conversations, so you already kind of know what's going on with that. But that's the second venture, so that will be coming out soon. So ultimately, my goal is just to promote mental health awareness in the community and beyond through providing services, but also providing other ways to get mental health messages out there. Everybody's not necessarily ready for therapy, but if you have maybe merch, I something that has like a statement on there, someone may see that and they might plant the seeds. I'm all about planting seeds. They can be watered at some time, but the seed needs to be planted. And so that's what we're doing. We're planting seeds. So I'm excited, and thank you for having me.
So, Miss Kimberly, what made you get into the field you're in right now?
So I knew in fourth grade that I wanted to be in journalism and specifically television news. And the thing that made me want to do that is I always like telling stories and I always like talking to people. I mean, like complete strangers. I just strike up a conversation with them, even when I was younger. And I remember my mom always used to tell people, she's so inquisitive. Like when I would ask people things, she'd be like, you don't know these people, but okay. But I was always curious about the world around me and curious about, other people's stories. And that's something that I really cared about. I know about myself and we all know about ourselves, but what about our neighbor? What about the person next to us? What is their story? And that's something that keeps me very interested in other people and, like I say, just the world around me. So curiosity really made me want to go into journalism. Fighting for the little guy made me want to go into journalism because, what we do, it truly is a public service. We bring attention to, we not only disseminate, information, but we bring attention to matters that affect you, that affect me, whether it's on a local, state, or even sometimes national level. And so a lot of, what we do in journalism, it's already something that was in me. So in fourth grade, I pretty much knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to tell a lot of stories. I wanted to reach a lot of people, and I wanted to talk to a lot of people.
So when your first time on television, did you think about that? Did that make you nervous being on TV and maybe like messing up in front of people, thousands of people watching you?
Yes and no. And I say yes because, being in front of a lot of people and doing something that can easily be criticized by individuals, it is nerve wracking. So, yes, in that aspect, but no, because I've always maintained a certain level of confidence and I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. And prior to then, I had done other things that put me in front of audiences to perform or to showcase an art. So, yes, there's nerves, and there was nerves the first time, but also not really. It was kind of just mixed.
Okay. Um, on my show, we have questions like from people that might be commenting. I don't know if you can see that question. We have people that's calling in now.
Yeah.
So Terry Roy said, what news story has been more personal to you out of all the stories you've done?
So, the one that speaks to me, the one that's kind of personal to me that I still think about to this day is when I was reporting in Little Rock, I was doing a story on the 20th anniversary of some tornadoes that had swept through one of the local counties. And I ended up interviewing a young woman who lost her mother in the tornado. She grew up with brothers, of course, but she lost her mother and she was a little girl. And I couldn't imagine. And she also ended up eventually losing her brother some
Mm.
years later. And I remember interviewing her, and it just, I we are people as journalists, but we really do try to remain professional and keep our composure. But I'm even getting sensitive talking about it now. But when she talked to me about losing her brother, we shared a moment because I have 3 brothers, and I couldn't imagine losing one of my brothers. I don't know what I would do. I have 2 older brothers and I have a younger brother, and it would break my heart. But that has been perhaps the most personal story to me because, like I said, I related to her on a very personal level. I told her, she started crying during the interview, and I told her, I said, it's okay to show emotion. I understand because I have brothers, and we shared a moment, and I talked to her, even after the interview, the cameras went away, the photographer went away, and we really just encouraged one another. And so that story, out of all of them, has really, it sticks out to me, and that's been a really personal story for me because it made me think of my own family and what I could possibly lose and what I could possibly go through. But
What do you think of? What do you think
you
about?
made me cry this evening.
I didn't ask that question. That's Terry asking questions like that. Terry, hey Terry,
Oh well,
that's my boy Terry.
made
He
me
asked
cry
that
this
question.
evening.
I
But
wish I
I'm
could give
sorry.
you.
Go ahead with your
I
next
wish I
question.
could.
I'm sorry.
uh, when you say that, a lot of things, a lot of people have been affected by social bullying. And do you think that's getting out of hand in today's society? Because when we was growing up, I didn't deal with uh bullying on the internet and cyberbullying and stuff like that. So do you think that's a big issue in today's society as far as like our children, growing up, because a lot of people try to shield their kids off of the internet to prevent things like that. So I mean, is that anything that's that y'all been hearing about that's been like, a worry to parents?
You want to take it first, Kim? You want me to?
Well, it'll be hard to follow behind you, the expert. So
Oh,
let me take a crack at it first. I will say that yes, honey. I will say that I personally feel like the same sentiment that you have. We didn't deal a lot with cyberbullying growing up. If anything, it was more so in person at school, outside of school, and I think that it is a major issue for our because social media, it's something that is a part of their daily lives and it's very important to them. And we have to think about in the world that they live in. They're not adults, have jobs, bills, other extracurricular activities as adults. They're children, so their world is school, their friends, social media. And so I think it is a very big problem because they're exposed to a lot. And unfortunately, I feel like personally, a lot of it is negative and they can come under scrutiny from friends, bullies, enemies, all of that. And it's in their face. And I don't think our children are quite deal with that. And it's even hard. So you can imagine us as adults trying with cyberbullying, comments, seeing the reaction. They make it like their life is over if they see, the wrong type of comment. Whereas an adult, you may be better equipped because you're more mature to handle that type of thing. But our children are not. And so I do feel like it's a big problem for our youth. Absolutely.
Oh,
oh,
we lost signal. I think her phone probably usually when that happens, like people phones be ringing and all that and stuff like that. But
yeah.
she'll come back. Trina, what do you think?
So I'm not going to deny the impact that social media has had on just society overall. The kids who are very impressionable, and even the adults, especially in the recent times. It's just that anything that is like presented can be perverted. You know what I mean? So if something is presented to be used for a certain purpose, um, it can always be used for maybe an alternative purpose that it wasn't intended for. And I think that's a big deal with social media. I think that there are positives and there are negatives for everything. I really feel like, though, if you really comb it back, because yes, we did have bullying, and yes, it is more accessible, I think, for people like to, they have more access to people. And, we have this term, the keyboard warriors and all that. So people tend to like do a lot more, but at the same time, it has a lot to do with the exposure. And I think Kimberly, excuse me, was talking about that. And she was saying, how the kids, they see these comments and whatnot. But I think it's so much more to it. The fact is, at the end of the day, it's about monitoring as well. You know what I'm saying? It has a lot more to do with, why are our children so susceptible to the messages that they have, that they're being sent. Sometimes, a lot of times it touches on something that they already may either think already. That's how adults tend to be bothered by it as well. If someone says something to you that you already are having trouble with yourself, then that might actually make it affect you more. But I mean, at the end of the day, social media just standing by itself, you know what I'm saying, is not always just going to be this complete negative, because we have seen some positive things on it. It's just when it's being used for bad, it's very good at being used for bad as well. So it goes back to parenting. It goes back to, instilling, certain beliefs, certain character attributes, certain things in our children and even in ourselves, so that we're not as susceptible to it. Because I do think that a lot of times, because so many people lean on what social media has to say, that's one of the reasons why it's so impactful. Because I remember we had MySpace. I'm old enough to be on MySpace when MySpace was popping. Okay. And I'm not going to say people did not get bullied on MySpace, but I don't remember it. I just remember, being able to trick out your page and put your music on there and just, get friends and stuff. So it has more to do with, I think, the climate of the society that we're in, and social media just happened to be one of those tools that can be used for like a bigger problem that we're having.
You think people are spending more time on social media than they are in real life?
To a certain degree, because like one of the biggest things I've heard about is like TikTok, right? And TikTok is one of those quick hits. It's kind of like a extended version of the Vine, you know what I mean? But you will see someone on their phone, and it doesn't really, not in respect to age. It does, you can see someone that's in their 50s on TikTok now, and someone that's 5, and they just scroll and just laugh and laugh and laugh. Well, guess what? Laughter is therapeutic. It gives you an immediate release of endorphins, which is the pleasure chemical that we have. So if I'm getting this immediate release, then I'm going to stay there because I keep getting it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that keeps people attached to their phones, because they actually are getting that feel good. They may not understand it on that level. And to others, it's just like they always on their phone. But it's like, I'm more concerned with why. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the resolution is. And that's where you'll be able to find, because the answer to a lot of these questions is it depends, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, it depends on blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. When y'all see and Kim, I don't know how often, I don't know how active you are on social media, but when you see certain friends make certain posts as far as that's concerning, do y'all reach out to them, or I mean, you just hope? I mean, how does that go? Because sometimes I see friends post some things, and then I'll inbox them and be like, "Hey, is everything okay? Is everything good?" And then they'll say they're okay. But I mean, how do you keep like pursuing them to make sure they're okay? Because then you might get on their nerves and stuff, and then situations happen. So how can you avoid that when you see friends make posts that might concern you? Do y'all ever encounter that?
I know I do. I absolutely do. And I have recently, where I had to reach out to a friend and message and make sure that she was okay. And at the end of the day, like, I've changed my attitude about it in terms of making sure that someone is okay. Yeah, I may get on your nerves, but I really don't care at this point. If there's a concern in me that's heavy enough to say you need to check on this person and you need to follow up with this person, then I can deal with you being mad at me. but I can't deal with you being unhealthy. I can't deal with you going to the hospital. I can't deal with losing you. I can deal with you being mad at me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally agree. Again, for me, it's a little different, unfortunately, because I see posts sometimes that really trouble me. And I know that I can't be everybody's therapist. I absolutely cannot be my friend's therapist. That's actually unethical. I'll lose my license. So have to be protective of that. But to be a friend, I mean, because I was friends with pretty much most of the people that I'm friends with now before I was a therapist. You know what I'm saying? And so like and even if it's not a friend, I mean, there are many different ways that you can actually help. Inboxing, I think that it's more important for me. If it's a friend of mine, I most likely have your phone number. So I might text you or call you, or I might inbox. I'm not about to get on your post and start typing all this stuff. Not if it's my friend. You know, now if it's someone that's a stranger that I feel like I can drop some words of encouragement, that's different. But if it's something like you prefaced it as friend, then I'm probably going to call you or text you or something to check in on you, because that's the type of, that's the type of response that I feel like would be necessary. But I just feel like, at the end of the day, sometimes people don't want to reach out as well because they feel like they're just playing, or, they always do this. And it's like, for me personally, I used to work in crisis, so even if that means a lot of people that were always in my face when, far as like assessing and making referrals for inpatient and all that, but they were still here. So the minute they stop it, that's actually sometimes dangerous, because when they stop, sometimes that's because that's it. And so like Kimberly was saying, I'd rather you be mad at me than for me to just say, you know what, enough of that, or I don't want to get on their nerves, because I know that for me personally, if something was to happen, I'm not going to blame myself for what they did, because it's not in the end my fault. But I am going to still feel some type of way if I didn't do everything I felt like I could to help. And that's the difference.
Let me ask you this. Okay, I've seen a couple people make fake posts and said that like they were dead and stuff, like fake RIPs, and then later came on and say, man, I apologize, I was just. So what is it? What does that mean? What are they hitting at?
Ask yourself why somebody would actually do something like that, because that's where we go with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a need there regardless. And obviously everybody's not going to approach it from the standpoint of a professional taking the time to really say, because, just when you're just casually, dealing with someone, that is annoying. We're not going to say that won't be annoying to you or frustrating or any of those human emotions we experience when somebody does that. But when someone is attention seeking, the fact is there's a reason for that. So it's for us in this profession, that's still an issue that still stems from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking professionally, then yeah, but there's a reason why someone would be willing to go to that extent. That's not a healthy person. So it's like when people are like, I'm not going to do this because that's all they're doing is just trying to get attention. Yeah, but at the same time, most people that go to that extent to get attention are hurting big time. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you have to decide, is it more bothersome for me to address this with them? I mean, you can still address it with that person, right? But is it more bothersome for me to just be there in that moment? Or am I going to just decide to assume or try to predict what their purpose was in this moment and then, just wait and see? I'm not really a wait and see like that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if they cry wolf, even in the story of the little boy that cried wolf, at one point, the wolf actually showed up, and so if you're okay with that person actually being confronted with whatever the wolf is in their life and being okay with, hey, it happened, then that's fine. But if you know yourself that you wouldn't be, Facebook even has ways where you can go and report a post to the point of not getting anyone in trouble, but you can actually do, this seems like that person might, this might be an indication of self-harm or something like that. And you can actually choose the option for them to reach out to the person and just make sure they're okay, so that you're not necessarily being what you might consider intrusive or whatever the case is. Maybe it's something you don't know that person like that, but you do seems like they're crying for help. objectivity helps with clarity. So if you're not a part of that person's life and you're not close to them, you might actually be able to hear them. Whereas people who are close to them are like, they do this all the time. Nobody playing with them, that type of stuff. So you can use that modality as well. And just simply just to ease your mind, send it, click it, and then let them take care of the rest,
Kim, dealing with KFDM Channel 6 News, do you get to like as far as different stories, do you get to kind of pick and choose like the stories that you want to like talk about as far as like with TV and all that?
I do. We have editorial processes inside of our newsroom, and this is every newsroom across America. The news anchor is very much an intricate part of the newscast itself and what content goes in. So on a day-to-day basis, I do have my hands in that, as well as reporting the stories that I report on, like individually, that I do myself. My supervisor, my news director, Keith, he does give me, creative liberty to come to him with ideas on what stories I like, what stories would be best, what stories would come to fruition. So yes, I do have some creative input.
So right now, y'all super focused on what's going on with Russia and everything?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's a station or a media outlet that's not, because obviously, this is a very concerning thing to everyone in the world, literally everyone in the world, because, we haven't seen conflict like this in Europe since World War II. And when you start seeing signs like that, it's very concerning. It will get your attention as an individual citizen at home, and it definitely has our attention as journalists.
Now, somebody might be watching this and they might say, "Man, I want to be like Kim. I want to go on TV, I want to be a news anchor. I want to do this, I want to do that." What would you suggest to them?
So I want to say, did you ask what's my advice to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my advice to them would be to focus on journalism as your passion, and consider journalism and the business that it is going to be once you step foot into it, because journalism, like many other careers and industries, we've been through a lot of changes. So even though the principle is still the same, fighting for the little guy and telling great stories, there have been some changes in journalism in terms of, job availability, where your focus is, whether it's digital, whether it's over the air. So I would advise them to consider their passion and see if they have a passion for it, because you definitely need it. Also, see if this is a career path that you're willing to take, because it will require, personal and professional sacrifices. Unfortunately, this is one of those industries where I tell people, you're not your own person anymore. Once you get involved in journalism, especially in TV news, you're not your own person anymore. So much of you is shared, so much of your time is shared, so much of your brain power and your thought process home away from work is shared. So I would just tell them to consider all possibilities and see if this is something that they really want to do. And if it is, then start early. When you're in middle school, when you're in high school, when they have the announcements for school, do that. That is a form of communication. You're just seeing information to a large audience. When they have the school TV channels, get involved. Do that. Again, another form of disseminating information to a mass audience. Get in the habit of doing what you want to do before you actually get there to do it.
Let me ask you this. Y'all move a lot too.
We do.
Yeah, I'm constantly seeing like I think who just left. Well, he's been left though, but a guy, what, James Jordan, I think was his name. Are you familiar with James Jordan, or was he with Channel 4 or something like that?
Oh, Jordan James.
Jordan
Is that
James, my
who you're
bad,
talking
my
about?
bad. Jordan James.
Yep. He was 12 News.
Yeah, he went to Memphis, I think. Did you hear me?
Repeat for me.
I said I think he moved to Memphis.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't remember if it's specifically Memphis that he moved to. I don't remember, but I know that he did go to a larger market.
Is that why?
And he's a
Is
good
that why people?
journalist. So I'm sure he's doing quite well.
Yeah. Is that why? Is that why people in your field move around?
So there's a few reasons why people choose to move around. Some people, they just want to. Anyway, this is one of those careers where it's easy to see a lot of cities across the country. So that's one reason, a person who naturally just wants to move and relocate. Two, it is all about climbing the ladder for some people, just getting to a larger market, a large city. So that can be a consideration as well. But then also, when you're first starting out, especially younger people, we've kind of gotten away from, staying at a job for
Mm,
15, 20, 25
yeah.
years.
Mhm.
It's kind of, you get there, you get what you can from that job, and then you move on. And so I feel like it's that way for a lot of journalists. But then too, also, when you're starting out, that first opportunity, that's not your end all. That's you getting your foot in the door. That's you getting your start. Now, some people are blessed enough to get in with their first station and truly enjoy it, absolutely love it, and stay there for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with an anchor like that in Shreveport, Louisiana, who that was his first station, and he stayed the course. He loved it, had family there.
Mm.
But for so many of us, like I said, that your first station and making your first move is about getting your foot in the door, getting experience. And then once you've gained the experience and the knowledge that you can, and you feel like you can't grow anymore at that particular place, then you move on somewhere else.
Mm. You just got a promotion, right?
I got a promotion. I went from the Fox Foods anchor at 5 and 9 o'clock to the KFDM 6 anchor at 5, 6, and 10.
Okay. Okay. So, back to when you said how you have to be active and join, different school programs and stuff. I think social media is preventing a lot of kids from being socially active as far as like communicating, um, in person. Now, people, they rather text. And I had a buddy of mine back in the day, maybe like a few years back, and we was just talking about him talking to a female, and he said he rather text than talk to her personally on the phone. And I think social media is kind of getting people away from having that, that interaction and stuff. So, um, do y'all think social media is taking away like the personal interactions with, with each other?
I'm not gonna say it's not. It has the ability to do so. I do think that there are some people who are able to use it because some people just don't have either the skills or maybe the confidence to just dive right in. And so sometimes it's used to kind of warm up, but at some point you want to have that more personable experience. So I would say that, it's a lot of people that are starting to lean on more of the social media aspect in order to make, engage with other people and make relationships. But then you have to look at what we're dealing with. Like you said, that was a couple of years ago. there are people now that are grown-ups that are saying that they would rather text because they can review what they are saying and make sure that it's tactful, because a lot of times when you're talking, sometimes people don't think before they speak, so they're just speaking, and an unspoken word, you can't take back. You can't unspeak an unspoken word. So sometimes it actually helps people to get their thoughts together. But at the same time, I do believe, like, I don't know if you consider texting to be social media as well, but the thing about text versus talking is that a lot of context is missing a lot of times. I mean, remember when text had no emojis? Like, think about way back when it was like instant messenger and it was just words, and people would put their emotions in parentheses and things like that, you know what I'm saying, to try to show what they meant. And then all of a sudden emojis showed up to show content on, this is how I'm saying this. I mean, we can talk about social media being a crutch, but to me personally, there are so many other things that social media has done as well. You know what I'm saying? So we can say that that's part of the problem, but there are bigger issues going on because we're in a pandemic right now. I know for some people it doesn't feel like it anymore, but we did make 2 years this month. And at one point that is all you had. You know what I'm saying? So at the point when that's all you had, you know what I'm saying, you had no choice but to communicate that way. So it's a lot of people that might, if that's the case, that social media is really causing that many issues with people being comfortable with speaking in person and engaging with people, then in that case, that was inevitable because we couldn't even avoid it at that time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so much more than that. There's a lot of other things that are lacking, I believe. And that is why so many people depend on social media for those things, because I used to teach. And when I taught, they were teaching us to incorporate some of those aspects of it. There are programs that they use in the schools that is basically social media. If you look at the nature of even something like Google Docs or something, where everybody meets on this same doc and you interact in that one virtual space. So anywhere where you're interacting virtually could be considered social media, right? Because you're interacting, that's social. I mean, this is social media. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing this for the purposes of promoting positivity and to get awareness out there. So social media can be used for whatever you choose to use it for. I think the bigger question is, why is it being used for so much of the negativity that you're witnessing, versus is social media bad? Because you can argue either side.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. You could use. I use social media for the good, as far as like making posts and motivational posts and stuff like that. So I mean, it is multiple ways, and it's it is I mean, it's technology. So I mean, the communication and all that, and getting good news out there, as far as all that goes. But you I'm just saying, as far as like the negativity, and people like to focus on the negative. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And as far as, like I said, with cyberbullying, you see depression on here. And it's just, I mean, you know people will make posts, and they'll think they're talking about them, and it's like, now it's like social media is like, I had wrote down notes that saying, like, as far as social media, I mean, it's what people focus on. It's what people get. It's what they believe. So they'll go on social media and they'll believe somebody saying something over, like, maybe if Kim saying something on the news or reporting, like, stuff. So I think like social media is like, it's become like the main thing to people's lives. They wake up in the morning and then that's the first thing people check is their phone and stuff like that. So it's ways. I mean, you could either use social media for the good and the bad. And I like to tell people, if you have people on your page and they're posting negative things, and they're irking your peace and your comfort, then go ahead and just delete that person, unfriend that person. Because I just think some people are just scared to unfriend people because of the backlash it might get, and like, to protect your peace and protect your mental, just delete that person. And it's like so much going on in the world, like, Kim, them, they're reporting the Russia and the Ukraine stuff, and that's affecting people mental also too. I mean, that's all they were talking about at my job. So you know uh, and I want to Miss Rose, I be wanting to say, I want to say your real name, but I don't know if I
You
should.
can say whatever you
Okay,
can
all
say.
right,
It's, but
okay,
it's so long. You can say my name.
okay. So Trina, I mean, as far as as far as mental health, um, is it keeping you busy now? Because it seems like mental health is like it's to the forefront now because people wasn't talking about that 10 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah, and they were not talking about it. And to be honest with you, that's why I say, like, at the end of the day, even with the post that you make, Floyd, if we didn't have social media, some of the positive things that you post and other people post, some people who you don't even know you're impacting would never see it. So it's
Yeah.
like we focus, like you're saying, we as human beings focus a lot on negativity, but that was before social media. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when the radio was invented, there were a lot of people that were against the radio because it was the devil or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They had negative things to say about media in general. So media has been an issue when it came to TV. You know, some people was like, I'm not bringing that in my house. You know what I'm saying? So now you see TVs everywhere. And now, honestly, some people are kind of getting away from it again. So there's a way to demonize everything. And again, I will not minimize the impact that social media is having on it. But I think more of the bigger issue is we're talking about human behavior and the flaws that are there. You know what I'm saying? Because there are positive posts that people ignore. You see people post all the time. You know, when I post positive stuff, I get this many likes. When I post negative stuff, look at this. And it's like, okay, fair enough, you know. And now, once again, that's another negative post. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, it's about control. Like you said, hit the delete button. Oh, but there's a reason for not hitting the delete button. Okay, there's a reason to hit it though. And then honestly, you know, I don't know people's personals, you know. So some people might be like, well, I don't want to have to deal with my family saying that this and that, that and other. So if you're in a situation like that, there is an unfollow. So you can still actually show that this person is your friend, and you just don't have to see the posts that they have. There are ways for you to navigate and snooze a person. So if you feel like a person in your life who is just being super pessimistic and just everything is negative, 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 you can take a break from them. There is an actual option for that. So if it's someone who is not just, I'm finna delete them, I'm done, and just one of those people that is able to just delete friends or whatever the case without, fear of the repercussions, then you have other ways that you can do stuff as well, because it's not like social media sitting by itself is not the issue. It's the way that people are using it. You know what I'm saying? And you choose to use it in a positive way, and some people choose it in a negative way. You say people wake up and they go straight to their phone. They don't have to do that. That's a choice. And so for me, unfortunately, I'm just not that person that's just so big on making it like people are helpless. Now, babies, to be honest with you, I understand that children tend to be more susceptible, right? But there are a lot of adults with children like mine's. Chronological age and maturation age is not always the same. So you got adults and children. It's the adults that are suffering from some of the same things that you've expressed about children. We just don't tend to have as much concern for them because of their age. So the fact is, a lot of these adults are teaching the kids to do that. It's not just children that are always on their phone. You look at people at dinner and they all on their phones at dinner, the dinner table or whatever. Yeah. So it's really more so about human behavior. But as far as mental health, yes, I mean, to answer your question short, it's a lot, but it's more than just social media. You have some people that have things that they've been dealing with way before social media became so prevalent, and they're just getting to it. You know what I'm saying? So it just really depends. I think that a lot of mental health professionals are using social media to reach those people who normally they wouldn't be able to reach. So, people have pages and things like that. There are pages dedicated to mental health awareness, stuff like that. So we just have to, for those of us who want to use it for positivity, try to do just that. That's what you're able to do. Be that very solution that you feel like we need, because it's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people turn to social media because they're unfulfilled in their actual lives. If reality was funner for them, if it was more fulfilling for them, they wouldn't necessarily feel compelled to always spend time on social media. And that's not really social media's fault, So
yeah. Kim, do you get, I'm not trying to switch subjects, but as far as the news go, do you get noticed a lot walking around in the city or whatever?
Sometimes I do. And I'll say that most of the time, I feel like people will see and they won't necessarily know how to approach or how to say hello. And so
Okay, yeah,
I notice
I can get
those
that.
people, and so I count those as being noticed as well. But I always tell people, like I'm a regular person. Feel free to come up to me and say hi and strike up a conversation. I don't bite. Um, but yeah, I do run into some people who give me the double look and it's like, is that her? But yes, I do get recognized.
Um, I want to ask you this because as far as your personality, you're a people's person, you're a dog's person, you're a dog person. I seen you post the pictures with dogs and stuff. I don't know. I think it was like I think it was a repost or something. And I
Yes,
want to
it's
know. I
from,
want to
I
know
want
like
to
what
say,
is.
oh no,
I
I was
want
just
to
going to
know.
say, I think that's from years ago when I was in Shreveport. But go ahead with your question.
I want to know like what's playing in your car. What does the Shreveport girl listen to? Are you listening to A Baby or something like that? What's Kim listening to? Or do you even listen to hip hop? Is it country? Is it rock? Is it what are you jamming right now?
So listen, I have always been, I am a Louisiana girl to the core. Um, so I have always listened to Louisiana music, of course,
Mm,
whether it be rap, jazz, hip hop, R&B, country, doesn't matter. Also, I'm a lover of music. And so it doesn't matter which genre it is, as long as it sounds good to my ear, and there's quality in it, whether it's vocal quality or inequality, then I listen to it no matter what it is. So, my not timeline, but my playlist can go from like Mississippi Mass Choir to like
okay.
Juvenile in like a hot second. But that's because
Okay.
I
Little
love all
Bootsy in
kinds of
there.
music. So I mean, I have
You
a
got Little
variety.
Bootsy in there.
Boosie is in there.
Boosie's in there. Okay, that's
Boosie is
what's
in
up.
there. Sorry, he is.
Okay, that's what's up. I think one time I don't remember her name, but it was when the news was in the mall. They had a station in the mall. I don't know if it was Channel Six,
Hmm.
Channel 4, Channel 12, or whatever. And I seen the news anchor lady. I don't know who she was. She's not there no more. But I swear she was walking. Her nose was up. She was walking through like Beyonce. And I want to speak to her, but I just felt the vibe. I don't feel that vibe from you at all, but the vibe from her was like, it's like a Beyonce nose up in the air vibe, and I was like, I'm not gonna talk to her, but the vibe that I get from you is very friendly. It's nice. Uh, I hope you plan on staying for a while in Southeast Texas. I know Dejanique just recently left. I know you and her were very close, right? And
Yes, she did. She just left us. That is my sister. I love her dearly. Miss her dearly as well.
I had Dejanique on the show like when I first started, like back in like 2019. I had on the show for like a few minutes,
I
and
know.
I'm not
I
even gonna lie.
saw that. I saw that.
I was nervous when she first came on too. I was like, dang. She was like the first person like I had like, as far as um like I want to say like a professional guest or something. Like you and Trina, y'all got professional careers and stuff. And I'm not trying to diss other people that I had on the show, but I had like friends on the show, and it was like it was silly like Q&A questions and stuff like that, just for entertaining purposes. But as far as when I started like interviewing like people as yourself and therapists and doctors and whatever counsel people and stuff like that, she was like the first person to come on. And I remember being like so nervous, man. And she was like, it wasn't nothing to her. She was like on her computer typing and talking at the same time and stuff. But I see she doing big things and stuff. I seen you just reposted. Is she doing like scents and stuff like that? And I think she got like a journal book or something.
Yes, she has her own self care line.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I seen that. I was gonna check out the website and stuff, but I had so much going on today and stuff, and like after the show, I'm going to Austin and all that. It's been kind of hectic right now, especially with the technical difficulties that I'm gonna figure out when I come back and stuff. But um, yeah, as far as like, oh, let me let people know. Hey, if y'all want to call into the show, you could call 409-233-0017. Let me shout out Alicia Phillips. This is to her birthday. I told her I was gonna shout out. I said I was gonna shout it out at the beginning of the show, but like I said, I was having technical difficulties and just getting the show started, it was a blessing and I forgot to shout out. So, shout out to Alicia Phillips, happy birthday. Happy 50th birthday.
Oh,
And but yeah, man, if y'all could reshare the show, repost it. If like I said, if you want to call in and ask any of these ladies questions, 409-233-0017. I think that line is still open. I think we're good. I did a test and it worked. So, that line is open if you want to call. We're talking about, is social media affecting society? Is it helping or hurting society? And we all agree. I mean, it's pretty much like a yin and yang thing. It can help as far as technology and getting the information out there. And it definitely can hurt as far as cyberbullying. And you hear sad cases of people like young kids um, taking their lives for getting bullied. And let me revert back to a question earlier. It was from TP Sagi, and he said, as far as is it wrong not to give kids phones until a certain age? What do y'all think about that as far as giving, a kid a cell phone? Because I'm not gonna lie, my daughter's 6 and she's asking for a cell phone, and I'm not nowhere near comfortable giving her a cell phone right now. So, what do y'all think? What do y'all think is like the proper age, in your opinion, in your own aspect?
whew. Well, I mean, again, it depends because you can't really tell someone what is right and wrong for their household. I mean, you have some kids that are latchkey kids, which is the old school term for a kid that may walk home from school and, they may not necessarily have like big brothers, big sisters, or whatever the case is. I mean, be honest with you, for a while I was a latchkey kid, so I had a key. You know what I'm saying? I went to Peach MacArthur right there, and my house was right there. And I had my rules of you walk in, you lock the door, you don't answer the door for anyone, you answer the phone or whatever, you know what I mean? So if you have a situation where you have single parents, or just a household where they don't necessarily have the ability to have people kind of be more hands-on, which is the reality for a lot of people, you might decide that your children need a phone at an earlier age to keep up with them. The thing is that you can do the parental restrictions and stuff like that. So if you were to have the phone for the purposes of just keeping up with your kid, then you can put those restrictions on what time, the time limits on when their phone is, the services are no longer available. You know what I'm saying? Blocking certain apps and things like that. I know that a while back, I'm really not sure because I don't have a kid anymore right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they used to have the phones that were specifically for kids. So it literally had speed dial numbers, like it had buttons where you can program maybe 3 numbers, and literally all they had to do was press that button, but that was the only numbers they can call from that phone. So if they don't have those types of phones, and I would say if you decide to get your child a phone, I'm saying, for whatever purpose, then you make sure that you do it in such a way that you are still comfortable. And I mean, you can also call the actual company and have restrictions and things like that. You can go on and you can suspend the phone services. So, a lot of times there's so many other control methods that you have to manage that child actually having that phone. Because a lot of times they're like, I don't want my child to have a phone, but then the child is over there and they're like, I want your phone, I want your phone, I want your phone. And then the parent will hand them their phone. So are you not wanting them to have their own phone because of, you think that maybe you won't be able to monitor it? Because you actually can monitor it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it depends on what your comfort level is. I would tell a parent, if you're not comfortable with your child having a phone, don't get them a phone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the bottom line. You are the one that's in control of that situation at that time, and you're the one that's gonna make that decision, But I mean, to say don't give them a phone and then they have like access to computers and tablets, I mean, most phones are little computers. And I know Mr. Sagi was saying it doesn't have to be an iPhone, though. You're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be like this super cool smartphone, but it can be, and you can still uh protect them in the ways that you want to and set up parameters and whatnot. And then part of it is also in the way that you are, raising your children. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what have you already instilled in them? Have you had that conversation with them? Are they old enough to have a conversation about the responsibilities and
Excuse me.
whatnot? Because with freedom comes responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to give them the freedom to have those things, just like with curfews and cars and everything else, there's a responsibility that comes along with that. And if you feel like your child is not old enough to understand that, and you also are not in a position where you can manage that, and I would say don't create another headache for yourself.
Yeah, that is true, and you can monitor that phone too. I mean, hey, it's your kid. You can check that phone whenever you want to. So,
Yeah, and you
you
can
know,
actually put in parameters, like you can literally put in settings and things like that. That
yeah.
at this time they can't even dial out or receive calls. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm.
can actually call the company and have it set up to where you suspend it, but the only person they can call is you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there are ways to get around it. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean that's true, and they do have tablets and stuff like that. Like my daughter has a tablet, and she can't really do nothing on there except for play video games and stuff. So, and even when it's time to update, or whatever the tablet, she got access for the password and bring it to us, and we type it in and stuff like that. So you can't monitor it. Um, but as far as my instance go, I'm not gonna get my daughter no phone right now. I'm just
And probably you shouldn't if you're not ready for it. You know what I'm
She,
saying?
I
Because you
mean,
have to be able to
I
take care of
mean,
that.
she got a
Right.
tablet. She good. The only people that's gonna call her is just me, her mom, and Granny or something like that. So I mean, she want to bug Granny, then I'm cool with that too. So,
She
uh, but
good.
we're almost reaching an hour. That's pretty quick, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's pretty quick. Kim, I really thank you for coming on. I'm sorry for starting late. I know you're a busy person. Do you work
It's
tomorrow,
totally
or
fine.
do you have to work tomorrow, or you got that good
No,
Monday
I
through
am not
Friday?
working tomorrow.
So what's going on this weekend? What you got this weekend?
So this weekend, I'll probably be preparing. I'll spend a lot of time preparing for the upcoming primary election, just doing some more
Mm,
research and looking up some information. That's on Tuesday, of course, but then Monday prior to, we're going to have a webinar on kfdm.com to wrap up Black History Month. And so I'll
mm,
probably spend some time this weekend putting that together as well. We'll basically have a roundtable kind of panel style discussion with interviewees from all of my stories this month. And we'll replay all of the stories from this month. There were 4 of them. And we'll use that time to get more in depth and get more answers from my interviewees and talk about some of the things that we weren't able to share in the newscast. So this weekend, I'll probably have a lot of prep time for those things, but also I'm going to try to put in some self-care because y'all, it is going to be cold this weekend, and I do
it's
not
gonna be
like the cold.
raining.
I'm a Louisiana girl, so I'm going to be on the inside doing some self-care.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be raining out there and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be traveling.
Not going
So
to be pretty.
hopefully I'll be okay on the road and stuff.
For sure,
And
definitely
I'm gonna
travel.
be in her car. I want to be in my Jeep, but gas is so high right now that I'm not finna drive my Jeep to
Mm-hmm.
Austin. It'll be like $200 to be honest with you, the gas going there and stuff. So I feel a little safer in my Jeep because it's bigger than riding in her car. So it's a female car, so not trying to
Oh,
disrespect. I mean,
wow.
y'all. I mean, it's a uh, it's a smaller car. It's a smaller 4-door car and stuff. Us guys, we like big trucks, Jeeps, whatever it may be. I
He's
just
gonna
feel a
see
little
a guy
safer.
in a Fiat. Watch, he's gonna be driving. He's gonna see a guy in a Fiat, a Cruise.
It's a lot of that in Austin. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Fiats and electric cars out there and stuff. So but I really thank y'all for coming on the show. I'm not even gonna lie because I didn't even think the show was going. I was just sitting here just frustrated, like, why is this happening at the last second and stuff like that. So I'm thankful to be able to talk to y'all and have, a good show, and hopefully we could do like a part two and stuff like that and continue on with some other topics and stuff like that. So I would definitely love that, because I have a lot of more topics and stuff to discuss. And Kim, what do you say? You say you doing daytime, so your hours consist of, what is that again?
Repeat that one more time.
What is your, you do the daytime show, so what does those hours consist of?
So I think if I was hearing your question correctly, it was what do I do like during the daytime?
Yeah, you do the daytime show. So like is that like evenings? Is that noon, 6 o'clock?
So the shows that I anchor, the 5, 6, and 10 o'clock, those are the 30-minute shows that I anchor, and we come in, myself, my co-anchor Aaron, we come in at 1, 5, 2 to get our day started with that. So before then, we actually have, free time because we're going to be up so late. We don't leave the studio until 10:45, 11 o'clock most nights.
Ah, okay. Well, hey,
Yep.
if you want to
So
be
that
on,
is all of our free time in the day.
yeah, well, I got the morning show popping off pretty soon. It's gonna be it's my motivational morning show that is it's gonna be kind of dope. It's gonna be something that I'm very proud of, that I'm prepping for. So, y'all look out for that. And if y'all want to join me on that too, y'all could join me. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds cool.
This is it's all free range. Hopefully it won't be no, technical difficulties and stuff like that. But I would definitely work on that. But like I want to say again, I thank y'all for coming on the show. I'm very appreciative of y'all.
No problem.
All right, so hey
we
man,
appreciate you. Thank you for having us.
all right, man, y'all take care. I appreciate y'all.
Peace.
All right. All right, man. So that was the show from for today, man. Like I said, I had some problems at the beginning of the show. I hit restart and all that, reset on my MacBook, and then I don't know what happened, man. It just wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me jump on my stream and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that what I'm saying, it wouldn't let me do. I don't even know if it would let me take phone calls and stuff. So but I still was able to get it done. But anyway, man, the next show that I have, if you're interested in a career in truck driving, CDLs, hot shots, having your own trucking company, dispatching, and all that, what I'm saying, I have a brother from Beaumont, from my neighborhood, that's doing some big things, that has his own business. He has his own book, and stuff like that. And if you want to jump on that, if you want to get some great information, because he's giving out some gems, he's dropping some gems for y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you hit that roadblock in life and you don't know what you want to do, and if you want to make some good money, then I think you might want to tap into this show next week and listen to what the brother have to say. Because like I say, man, I already got people inboxing me, what I'm saying, trying to get the info. And I'm like, look, man, I don't know. I don't know the game. He knows the game. So, y'all tap in next Friday, 8 p.m. It's gonna be a show. If you trying to get your CDL, if you're trying to start your own trucking company, dispatching and all that, because that's what's popping right now. That's what's hot right now. So if you're trying to get into that field, just tap in. Check out the show Friday. You could call a number 409-233-0017. You know what I'm saying? And you could ask some questions and stuff. And he's giving the game away. He's giving the game for free. He has the book also. He ain't giving y'all all the game. He's not giving y'all all the game, but he's giving you, what I'm saying, pieces of info that can help you get your, what I'm saying, change your life around, or get your career started. So y'all look into that show. And then the show after that, March 13th, we have a show, and we're talking about, is marriage still the goal, or is it becoming obsolete? So March 13th, we talking about, is marriage still the goal nowadays? You know what I'm saying? That's to be a relationship show. And I have a couple people tapping in on that show also too. So, what I'm saying? It's like we got multitudes of shows going on. We got the We got the substance abuse show, man. We got the domestic violence show coming soon. You know, we got a lot of different shows for y'all. And like Terry says, that morning show is gonna be great, man. If y'all see my post, man, them posts be straight from the heart. And most of them posts, it be posts from me. I just be checking myself. I just be telling myself this, and I just post it on Facebook. So most of these posts that I do be posting in the morning is just be self-checking myself. You know what I'm saying? And I just be posting it out there to y'all because you know what I'm saying. We all we got. So you know, it's too much negativity in the world. So we might as well drop some positivity, man. If my friends win, then I win. So, but I'm finna get out of here because I've been over an hour. I'm finna chill. I'm finna pack, hit Austin. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Terry, I know you watching, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out there in Austin. You need to click up with me one day and we go out there and we, you know what I'm saying? We'll have some drinks or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Sip some lemonade or whatever you want to do. But I'm finna get out of here, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for sharing the show. I thank y'all for commenting. I thank y'all for watching. And man, this is the Kickback, man. This is your boy North End Floyd. I'm finna get up out of here, man. I will see y'all next Friday for the next show. And then for the next show and for the next show, for the next show. But until then, I'm out of here, man. Y'all be safe. Peace. We out.